Okay, ladies and gentlemen, live Monday night, I'm Dave Burman. To my left, the one and the only, our guest on Deco Sports 360, Dan Singley, has a great radio, TV name and a baseball name. Dan, thanks for joining me. Long time assistant coach, then head coach, Chichester High School Baseball in Boothwyn. Thank you very much, my man.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me tonight. And thanks for putting Chichester back on the map.
I made a post about it on my Facebook page. It blew up. People love you. They're excited. They wonder if an hour is going to be enough for you and I.
I don't think so.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes here. All right. So, Dan, you grew up in Southwest Philadelphia. Your dad, Stan, right? Sam Stingley, absolute legend in Delco. Let's talk about, first of all, growing up in Southwest Philadelphia.
Southwest was just a unique neighborhood where SWP was like, you played down in Elmwood Park and going to the Tinicum AC games, to watch my dad or Doherty coach and some other gentlemen there that were just phenomenal athletes that came out of that area at the time. And I didn't even know my dad was a player or coach, and everybody was always talk about it. And it was just a great family-oriented place where a lot of our family grew up there. Like my uncle was down on the corner, and my other uncle was on the next street. And,
right.
And there was people everywhere. So
Southwest, would that be West Philly High School you would have gone to if you stayed there?
It was Bartram. Bartram was the.
That's where your
my father went. He went to Bartram.
Yeah.
School, yep.
Unbelievable.
And we went to West Catholic though. We as a Catholic boys, we would have.
Okay.
We went to Catholic.
A lot of people
West
for
Catholic.
such a small school. A lot of people that live in Delco, legends. Jimmy Lynam, I could go on. A lot of old heads have went to West Catholic back in the day. Yep. So again, Dad Sam, head coach of Tinicum AC football.
Yes.
All right. Mm-hmm. What does the AC stand for? Because I've seen a lot of articles on your dad, but I never.
Athletic club.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Tinicum. Unbelievable. So Southwest Philly, then how did you and the family end up in Delaware County?
It was strange because we had my uncle lived out here, the O'Donnells, and we used to come out and watch their children were a little bit older than my brother Charlie was a couple of years behind them, and one of them was the same age. Timmy, I believe, was the same age. Timmy O'Donnell was the same age as Charlie. And we went out to go see Johnny play in the 76 Sun Valley Chi Thanksgiving Day game.
Football, yes.
And I fell in love. It was amazing. We went and watched them play against Sun Valley, and it was a hard-fought game. And, the clickety-clack of the cleats coming down the steps in the hallway at Chichester High School in the B building was what got me hooked. And the C, kind of like the Alabama A, was on the side of the gray helmets. And I was like, Dad, are we going to come out this way? Are we going to move out here? And then we ended up looking for houses around there. And there was a couple developments, the Willowbrook houses, the Willowbrook developments were going in. And then a year and a half later, we ended up moving into Chichester. And that's where we ended up for years.
Mickey Verdon, baseball great, would have gone to Chichester High School. He's from Marcus Hook. Mm-hmm. And you get kids from Marcus Hook at Chichester. And where else? Boothwyn, obviously.
Yeah, Boothwyn, Marcus Hook. We got Linwood. We have Trainer. And we have Upper Chi. And Ogden also is a little town there. We get kids
named after major leaguers.
Yep.
Guys.
Awesome.
Unbelievable. Yeah, the rich history. Delco Baseball. I had Brendan Ricciardi on last week from Delco Baseball Now, the website on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. And he's
doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah, he's doing a heck of a job. Mm-hmm. And just so many former major leaguers, especially at Chester. Or from Chester High, Danny Murtaugh, just to name, and Lou Krause, Tommy Chisholm, his son TJ. So, all right, so you end up in Chichester, the school district, and what grade were you in when you got here?
When I came out of Southwest Philly, we went to, I had to finish Catholic school because everybody else had gone there. So I I went to St. Joe's in Aston, so I got to know all the Sun Valley guys growing up. And the funny thing was I knew all those guys before I got to know all the Chi guys. So I was friends with all the rival guys.
That's Delaware County for you. Yeah.
And we played baseball, and in the CBL, and I played baseball there. But then when we got a little bit older, it was like everybody played together in the Babe Ruth, and so we had a lot of Sun Valley guys and Carter Valley guys that would all play together. And we ended up going until 8th grade at St. Joe's Aston. Then I went to the middle school, or junior high, they called it back then, 7th, 8th, and 9th, to Chichester in 9th grade. And that was the first time I came to Chi and actually went to school in that district as a 9th grader.
Then you ended up playing, you graduated 1985.
Yes.
And you played, your best sport was football, or did you play basketball? And you played baseball too, right?
I played all three in 9th grade. And then I didn't play much basketball, so I was like, I just focused on football, and I got the opportunity because my brother was the quarterback as a senior. As a 9th grader, I went over there and learned from Chip Carroll, and he had me working out as a 9th grader. And then I was fortunate enough to learn the system during the 9th grade season. And then the winner of that season, along with my brother and Chip Carroll and Billy Schmergen, we got Ted Woolery, and we had some really good. Ray Stakula was there, and we had a real good staff at that time. And I was fortunate enough to come and start as a sophomore at the high school and battle against some older guys.
What position did you play?
I was actually a quarterback.
Quarterback. All right. Well, but I see a lot of stuff, on my newspapers.com. I have to pay for it, but it's worth it. It's a labor of love. I love sharing this stuff with people. I see your name in there a lot, just like your dad's from back in the day. So then did you go to college?
I ended up finishing out of Chi, and then I wasn't sure whether I was going to go to college or not. And then my parents really pushed me to go to school, and I didn't have the best grades when I was going through school. I just wanted to play professionally like every other kid and not really focus so much until I decided to go to Westchester. My brother went to Westchester. He broke his leg there and then transferred to Temple. But I was like, I'll go to Westchester like my brother did. So I went there, and I actually walked on, and I didn't cut my hair my freshman year. So
with the afro and all that stuff.
Oh, I had long hair like kids are today and stuff. And
yeah,
Serpico was the coach then. And he ended up saying, "I behoove you to get your hair cut." So I played all fall and stuff, and then he said, "Get your hair cut, come back next year." So I ended up playing football in the spring for Westchester, and then my brother got signed my sophomore year for the White Sox, and then I ended up switching back over to baseball. And played there for a few years there, and watched a lot and learned how to coach and do that kind of stuff.
And then you got into coaching, as far as I know here, for Chichester Baseball, 2002 assistant coach for up to 2015. Pretty impressive run there as assistant coach.
Yeah, that was like when I was in college at Westchester, I would always come back and volunteer, and Mr. Gatchell, he was the head coach at Chi for years and has a record, I'm sure, at one point with most wins in Delaware County as a baseball coach. And he said, if you can get this kid to hit, you can get anybody to hit. He'd just joke around and say things like that. But then I would just help whoever needed help hitting-wise or fielding-wise and help the outfielders. I was an outfielder originally the first year when I went to Westchester and played with John Mabry and a couple other guys, Pat Kelly and stuff at Westchester. It was amazing to watch them. And Pat Kelly filled the stands. We had every team in our games every time. So a lot of guys got drafted because of that.
Right. Where he end up, Pat Kelly?
He went to the Yankees. He took Sandberg's spot at second base at the Yankees.
So what high school again did he go to?
He was from.
I thought Philly.
No, he was out.
I'm thinking of the other Pat Kelly. There was an older Pat Kelly.
Yeah, there was an older one.
Northeast Philly. I'm so old I remember him and watched him.
Yeah, there's a PK. PK was his nickname, but he was out. I think he was up close to Boyertown up that way. He was I'm not sure exactly what high school he went to. And then John Marybeard was from Merlin, I know, and I played with his brother along with John. And his brother was a little bit older, but it was a surreal to be around those guys and be that good. It was Division I back then, and you had to be really good. And I wasn't the best student, so I could play all fall, but then spring was tough because my grades weren't the best. So I try to teach that to my kids today, to make sure they do what's necessary in the classroom so they can play.
So where were you from? Let's say you graduated high school '85 and a 5-year period there. Like, where'd you go from '90? Where were you from '90 to 2002? I
just played in the local leagues around here and tried to get drafted, try to get picked up. I actually played a lot with Gildays Raiders, is a Delaware team. We would go down to Florida every year, and I got a funny story with talking about Dickie Knowles.
Dickie Knowles.
He was making a comeback. So, of course, when I was at Westchester, my brother was a catcher, and then he put me behind the plate at Westchester, so I started learning how to catch there. And it was too funny because Dickie's warming up, and I'm lined up with 10 other minor league guys and major league guys to get ready for the game against the Cardinals. And Dickie throws me a slider, and I never caught it before. And he laughed so hard. He threw the slider. I didn't think it would break that hard. It broke so hard, and I hit off my big toe. And he goes, "You had to do the walk of shame, man. You had to do the walk of shame."
Oh, man.
My toe hurt so bad. But he goes, "I've never been so relaxed before a game." He goes, "I think I'm going to get re-signed today."
Did he eventually?
He actually struck out 8 out of 9, and he was getting on my brother Joe. He goes, "He's a much better catcher than you."
Yes. We got to talk about Joey, your late great brother, your nephew, Joey's son, coach under David Bell the last 3 years with the Reds. But Dan Singley here, Chichester head coach. I had another Chi guy on. He just completed his first year wrestling coach, Ed Bailey.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
You know Ed?
Yes, I know Ed.
Okay,
yep.
Chester guy.
Yep,
Chester
exactly.
High. Yeah, he was a good interview. He did a nice job. I mean, hopefully he'll keep doing it. It keeps you young.
Yeah, it does.
And, he had a couple kids. Yeah, wrestling's just a brutal sport.
Yeah, it's
brutal
tough sport,
as you know. So then you became the head coach of Chichester Baseball, 2016 to 9 seasons now. And how you guys doing this year so far? And I know you play the Clippers tomorrow here in Chester.
Here we go. We face off with the Clippers in our first Del Val game tomorrow. And, this year we actually we have a young team. We lost a lot of great kids from the 23 seniors. We had 8 of them, and they were all great kids. And we have 4 still playing at the next level. And it's been surreal with this. We saw a couple kids at Unionville. They had 4 guys that throw over 90. And our kids, not everybody has seen 90, but now they have seen 90 miles an hour.
So you played Unionville already?
We played them the first game. They had 4 guys that throw 90. We saw 2 of them.
Yeah.
So it was
my man going to Louisville? Is it Eddie's a tremendous basketball player too.
6'7". Yep. He's 6'7".
Why am I blank on his name?
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
He didn't pitch against us because he was still in the playoffs that game. They actually got a new field, and we were the first team to actually play on that new field. So I feel a little historic there. We got the kids to play on an amazing field that they just built there. And
great year for Unionville basketball.
Oh,
Chris
amazing,
Coles.
amazing.
Know that. Now I know let's see, Jamal Martin. There you go. He is Chester. Coach Singley is a good friend. There you go. Nice. They're making comments as they watch us. There you go. Thank you. And thank you very much, Jamal. You got Star, Corey, Dave doesn't, your family own the
ACBL field?
I wish.
Just ask.
I wish. No, not my family, but we're pretty involved in baseball. Maybe my brother Marty, he does a lot of stuff, the younger one. So there you go. Star Corey, Star Corey, Uncle P. No, he knows Uncle P. There you go. Is to the rescue. But anyway, yeah, so Oompa, thank you for your comments. Ed Bailey, thank you. Yeah, so people are chiming in here.
That's awesome.
Coach Singley. All right, so
what's up, Jamal?
Yes, great. You play Chester tomorrow. So right now, what's your record?
We're actually 0-3-1. We battled against Unionville. We were up 2-1. We just had a couple bad innings where we just made a few errors, and it's just, it was like a playoff atmosphere. So I wanted to play those teams because of that reason.
Right.
we don't see usually 90 until the end of the season. And we saw it right away, and the kids said, and they battled, and they had some real good at-bats, and we got a lot of guys on base. We just didn't score a whole lot. We were up 2-1 for like 3.5 innings, and then they took the lead, and we ended up losing like 10-3 or something.
Who's the manager coach of Unionville?
Actually, it's a funny story because we're like, we got dropped off early. Like it was like 1:30 and we got a 4:00 game. And then this guy's like yelling, "Yo, Singley, yo, Singley." And I'm like, "Who is this guy?" I was like, I don't even know who this is. It turns out it was Joe Grace Jr., right? So he's the assistant there, but he's helping out the head coach there, and he's screaming. He goes, "Singley, what are you doing? What are you doing?" He's like yelling down the thing. So I haven't seen him in like 30 some years.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So that's why I was like, who is this guy? Who's this? But the bloodlines that you have from playing together, like we played together back in the 80s and 90s. And his dad, I used to work for his father at the old restaurant down in Delaware there across from the Olive Garden. He had the hotel there, and used to have the Irish come in, and the other owner was from Notre Dame and stuff, and they used to have coaches come in and talk and do the alumni come there. It's pretty cool stuff. So I kind of learned some things from that, just working in that environment and hearing some amazing speeches from different coaches and things, and just proud to be part of that and to get to know them as a family.
Okay, and so played Unionville. Who else?
We ended up playing. The next game was we played Springfield in a scrimmage, but then we played them again, and then we were actually winning that game, and they scored 7, and we were up 3-1 there, and they ended up scoring 7 in the 6th, and then we ended up losing.
Well, they got some great sports out there. Springfield, beautiful facilities.
Brian Francis, Kaufman's out there,
and their lacrosse team.
My old coach is out there. Brian Stump is coaching back in his roots, which
assistant coach.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And wish them well, and they got a nice program there. And then we ended up playing my old teammate Rusty Abrams is the head coach at Pencrest, and
never met him.
He's a great guy. You would love him. He's a good sports guy, good baseball guy. I remember him taking a ball off the nose, and he went right back in the game like a hockey player.
So you guys played together there?
And we played in the Deco League together. Okay. All of us played in. Brian was there when he came back from the Phillies, and then Rusty, he was a second baseman, shortstop, mostly second base, but tough guy, great putting the ball in play all the time. And we used to play at the old Gauntlet Center in Marple there. And
I've never been there either.
I
feel like I'm here, but I'm not. I know more stuff about Chester, Wallingford.
They used to put the buses and store the buses before you get on the Route 3 there on the left. But there was an old field. There was like 400 feet to right field, and then I played with our brother there too when he came back a little bit, and he hit one on the highway there, and the left field goes, and it was funny because him and Al Minker. I don't know if Al Minker from Glen Mills. He was the head coach there for a while with Dave Miller. Dave Miller, that was also the coach out there, and they both hit 2 balls that were really far. And they were just comparing, like, hey, my ball was further than yours. He hit the restaurant. Al Minker hit the restaurant across the street and went across both highways and hit the restaurant. I couldn't believe he hit the ball that. He played in the A's organization.
Did he really?
So a lot of those guys were like all previous, minor leaguers and couple, cups of coffee with different professional teams that I was able to play with at a young age. I was fortunate to do that.
So you say you're 0-3-1?
0-3-1. We tied Ridley. We're down 10-1 against Ridley, and we came back.
Whoa, that's impressive.
So we got some, we got some juice. I saw a lot of good stuff then.
Your record here, you've made the playoffs each year. One District 1 win. You beat my buddy Mark Jordan and Radnor. They were the only PIAA state championship baseball team from Delaware County from 2018, beating Lower Dauphin in extra innings. Anyway, you beat them the next year. And then it's just so hard in District 1. I know we've only had one state championship in the entire county in PIAA baseball, but it's still, we have great baseball here.
Yeah, he was at Marple when he won, and then he transferred.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was at
to
Marple.
And then he went to transfer it over to to Radnor because his son was playing there.
Yes, let me get that right. But Mark was at Mark. Actually, he took him to the 2007 state finals and lost to Devin Mazzaracco and Punxsutawney in a heartbreaker. Then he went to Radnor, then back to Marple, won the state championship 2018, then back to Radnor, where he still is today. Your overall record is now, I have 97 wins. This is your 9th year, 42 losses and a tie. And that includes this year.
Yes.
Okay, so you're 3 wins away from 100. And we'll, don't want to jinx you or anything, and in the Del Valle, your record's incredible: 79-13, 3 straight unbeaten years, 39 straight wins over 4 seasons. So incredible job. And it takes it's not just you; it's a lot of help. Assistant coaches and fans. You got to have parents that are patient.
We have an incredible support system with the families, with even our administration. They just let us go to Florida and take the kids down there. We get some 4 hours of field time, during the day, and it's instead of the rain and all this that's been going on. And we have we have an awesome support system all the way through. The families that coach in the summertime, the fall league, and Chris Jones was doing it for years for me. Mr. Mitchell was doing it for a long time. Father Brett Hankins was phenomenal with the kids, and Vince Wildrick's been there for a long time.
So is Vince helping you?
The parents would actually have travel teams.
Jim Wildrick, yep. I know he's checking in.
Yep, they always had the travel teams for the summer for our kids, and they took them everywhere and get all that experience, and that's why the teams were so successful. It wasn't me. It was actually the parents taking them there, and all. My coaches that I have, we have, Jim Donnelly was a great, coach of mine for years, but now he's into athletic administration now. And he stepped away last year, and along with Brian Stump. Now I have Mike Zarowski, that's been a mainstay for me for all these years, and he's taken over the, third basing job. I gave him that, and doing the, a plethora of things for the program, and he's doing a great job at the high school with other things too, with the activities he does to play, and does a couple plays a year, and he's really talented. I tell him he should be in Hollywood somewhere. He's such a good guy, he's like talented that way. And we got Mike Fortuna just came over from AP Academy Park. I actually played with his father when I was in high school. He was a senior when I was a sophomore, and we got to play together. So it's full circle now with all this stuff,
So you played against him or with?
I played with his father at Chi.
Okay.
So Mike Fortuna,
wow, so
senior and now junior, or it's full cycle now. And now his kids are playing CBL. It's crazy.
Right. Well, hopefully the weather will warm up. That's another thing. At least you got 4 games in.
Yeah, I got a couple other coaches I want to just give.
No problem.
To we have Zarowski, we got Fortuna, and we got Josh Dumont. He's doing a great job. He's from Bonner. He played there, pitched there, and he's doing great with our pitching staff. And we have Doug Clark and Chris Byer doing the JV program, and just the families are phenomenal. I got parents that are doing the Sanford's doing the GoPro during the games and stuff, and Fortuna does the Game Changer and stuff. It's just phenomenal over the years, and the supports. And Kelly, I want to give a shout out to Kelly Rodriguez. She's been with us. Her son graduated 2018. She still helps out with the Boosters Club, and also our alumni. It just took off. We did an alumni game.
Yeah, you told me about that. It's incredible.
Unbelievable.
Big turnout.
Unbelievable. We had a huge turnout with Donnelly and myself. Started the Alumni Association. AJ Ober. We got Bill Egan. The brothers that we drawing a blank on the brothers, but we have. I'll come back to them. But it's a great group of guys that we started an alumni game. They created a 503C, and they actually raised money the last 5 years, and they built us dugouts before the season last year. Unbelievable.
Wow.
$70-some thousand. It was crazy.
In Chichester. And, of course, your football field is going to be
Redone.
Tony Apicella, named after a Hazleton great. I know that.
Yep.
Coach Apicella. You probably remember him back in the day, and they're really working on that. Penwood has a beautiful new sports complex. Love it here. So tomorrow, Chester. Let's focus. What time? About 3:30 first pitch?
3:30 tomorrow. First
3:30.
pitch.
All right. Now, Jamal Martin says hopefully Chester does not have to face a guy who throws 90. Ha, 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 with the left. And he also says Mike Fortuna Sr. was his coach back in the day, if you remember him.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
all right, so
he played with me. That's what I'm saying. He played at Chi with me.
Oh, there you go. Okay, he's Chi. So you just mentioned that. All right, now the Chester game tomorrow, what do you think?
I think it'll be a great battle because Jamal and his staff they have done tremendous job with their kids. And I talked to a couple of kids during the basketball game this year when we were playing Chi and Chester because I worked the games, and the kids are talking trash to me and saying they're going to take down Chi this year, which is
the Chester kids.
Yep, the Chester kids are telling me they're going to take us down, and I said, hey, anything's possible.
Yeah.
Anything's possible. But it'll be a great game tomorrow, and it'll be a competitive game. And looking forward to seeing their progression. And they had a kid that was in my class this year that transferred over already, and now he's playing for them. It's Jacoby, I forget his last name.
Jamal he'll probably chime in with that too. But
stealing my players now.
So Chester got off to a 3-1 start, but then ran into Northeast Philly. And my buddy, assistant coach Jack Kapp, and they're a solid program for like 100 years, doing very well. And then I think I saw a score Westtown, if that's accurate, 15-5 Westtown beat him, private school, Chester High the other day. Chester's field is right up there, top 1-2 fields in the Delaware County, least Delaware County.
The two best guys that take care of it too. They got
Johnny Baseball, Baseball.
Yep. And Danny McShane. I played with Danny, years ago, and teams with him, and he was helping out in Marple and in the Deco League and some other teams that he helped coach. And he was a great guy, great baseball player, and great coach. And now he gives back to the community and still has a team now with the Gildays Raiders. And they have a team that's the Gildays Raiders. Bob Gilday was my coach for years. He used to take us down to Florida and play against all the minor league guys when I was catching Dickey down there. And he's been I used to work for him and work hard all day and then go play a game and be so relaxed. And, he's still a big mentor for me, and he's been a blessing and, one of our best family friends that we can have besides Dickey. I know Dickey loved Joe, those guys.
And we're going to get to your brother, very shortly here, in the fundraising and the battle against cancer. But all right, in the Del Val baseball, 5 teams, Chi, Interborough. You guys have been like at the top for the bunch of years. And then we have Academy Park, Penwood, and Chester. What's it going to take? Why are you guys, what is it about Interborough and Chichester? You're just a step above the 3 other teams.
Well, we have a great, like I said, support system. Not only like the families and the parents, but the community. The community is phenomenal. We have the CBL youth baseball program, and that just turns kids into real baseball players. The parents there that do a great job, and we try to connect with them and trying to give back. I try to get the kids to umpire the games.
Oh man, that's great.
And just have a connection. Yeah. So when they get a bad call on them or something, so they get an understanding, like you see how it works, and you go umpire and he's like, yeah, the parents and people, they just put the things they say. And I said, exactly. And so you got to learn how to act and behave in a good way. And, you don't want to be saying those things because when you become an umpire, you understand,
Yeah, and umpires, you got to maintain your composure too.
It's hard,
because at all levels. So it goes difficult both ways there. But yeah, some of the fans can be.
Mm-hmm. So they get to learn. They get to understand how it feels when somebody says something to them. They're like, Coach, some of the people said some rude things to me. I said, well, that's why I don't want you saying something rude to them. Just talk to them. Have a conversation. We're all human. We're not all perfect. And
who's the head coach of Interborough baseball?
It's Anthony DiNicola.
Oh, he's still there. Okay.
Anthony's still there. And his dad it's funny. It's a small world. His dad was my offensive line coach when I was at Chichester, and he was coach with Chip Carroll and Schmiergan, and give a shout out to Coach D. We just had a gathering of our '85 class, and we meet every Thanksgiving for breakfast, and I invited him to it 2 years ago, and it was just phenomenal to see him, and he was just so excited to see all these, and just great to have him, great to come see us. But he'll come to the games, but he stands off in the distance at the Innerberg games and Chi games. He'll be there, but you don't really see him. You see him like a shadow in the distance, So it's great to have been coached by him, and actually became the principal at Chi at one point, after I graduated. And
you were football coach for 4 years.
Yeah, I was
Chichester,
head coach for 3.5 years, and we struggled a little bit. We didn't do as well as we could have win-wise, but the kids, they put an awesome effort in every day, and we had a lot of kids in the program, and a lot of kids went and played at the next level, even though we didn't have a lot of W's in the win column. And the bottom line is to make kids, be productive citizens and adults, and have them, come back and give back to the communities, and become that CBL coach, become that Chi Crusaders football coach, and give back to the communities that they grew up in. And that's what we try to teach at Chi. That's the mainstay.
So for Interboro, Academy Park, and Chester, athletes galore, just the feeder programs, and I have no answers. What would you do if you were those programs to try to get the feeder programs going? Because they got the athletes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the thing is, what we did when I came here, we never really went away, and we never really seen like 90 miles an hour unless we played a team that had a guy that threw 90. So I try to take them to Florida every year. We go to Universal Studios, and we go down there and we play against some top quality teams across the country. And they actually get, they get a real good experience of seeing fastballs. That's why we weren't able to go this year, because going every year, it's hard on the businesses that we ask for support,
advertising and donations.
Donations, and it's hard to go at them every year. So I'm going to try to do it every other year at least. But KSA Events, Kelly Hayes is an old Sun Valley girl. She actually started a company that brings all these football, lacrosse, soccer, every sport you can imagine down to Disney or Universal Studios, and then you're able to, play on these amazing fields and play some of the best programs in the country, and just see great quality experience against these kids that are top-notch athletes. And you get some scouts that are there at the games and everything, and it's and I don't usually like to tell the kids, because then they get nervous or they try to do too much.
Right.
But you got scouts in the stands, and they're watching the games, and you got some teams that you wouldn't play because they're feeder programs for national teams that come down there and play, and you play the JV teams, because Monzo went down there from Ridley. He went down there a couple of years back, and I said, don't play that varsity team. He's like, we're playing them, and he ended up playing them, and he was like, Coach, I'm going to listen to you next time. And they just, if you held on to the ball, they were at the next base. That's how fast they were. It's just a different level, because they're playing every day and all the time year round. Which,
we're still, but weather was actually nice today on this Monday.
Yeah, it was. It was beautiful.
Well, hopefully, again, we'll get these. You get Academy Park and Chester, Penwood. I mean, it can be done. It just you got to work at it.
You got to like Chester Youth. When I was growing up, and I was in Southwest Philly, we would come out here, and they had the best fields, and that's where it was the place to play.
Up on the hills, it was still up on the hill when you played.
Yep.
Okay.
Up, I'm talking about. You drive up the driveway where the little
now they have houses up there.
Yeah, they turned it into houses, and
I played 68, 69. Yeah.
Did you? And if they would have that, something to build that again, like to get that back. And I know Jamal's trying, And he says he's going to be ready tomorrow, right? That's good.
Okay.
I'm glad he's going to be
So
ready.
he's not going to tell me who he's pitching, but do you know who your pitcher is? And a little
We're
bit
gonna
about,
go
because
with
pitching and fundamentals, catching the ball, and baseball's a tough game. It's an unbelievably mental game. And so tell me about your pitcher.
We're going to go with a senior tomorrow, starting, and then we're going to pitch a bunch of guys tomorrow because we haven't been on the field. So it's going to be like a game where multiple guys are going to get in the game throwing wise. So Josh is going to start the game off and see how far he can go. And then we're going to have Cole Sanford, who's a sophomore. He played for us last year, has lit it up as a freshman for us. He's the real deal, Cole Sanford. And then we'll go into we'll see if we're going to go with Danny Kelly. Maybe he'll get in there, and maybe a few other guys. We'll have Matty Johansson, maybe him come in to pitch a few if we need it, And we'll see. We'll see what's going to go on.
All right, Dan Singley here, 9th year head baseball coach at Chichester. Got to talk about your family, back to your family and your late great brother Joe and his son with the Cincinnati. Tell us this story.
Yeah, Joe was, he played with the White Sox, and I got to travel with him. It was just phenomenal growing up as being his brother. And, I got to meet like Frank Thomas, Scott Radinsky. It was like his AA team was like 14 guys went to the major leagues. So
where was it with AA team?
It was the Birmingham Barons.
Oh, you went down south then. Okay.
So he was playing with that where Michael Jordan came and played there also.
That's right. Yeah.
He came out of retirement.
So you're 85 grad. Joey graduated what year?
Joe was 82
from
Chichester.
Chichester. Okay. You have another brother.
Charlie was the lineman for us. Funny story is that those two Chip Carroll used to get yelled at all the time because there would be all delay games, but it would be Joey and Charlie, our brothers, arguing in the huddle about run the ball, throw the ball.
Oh, man. And you're the quarterback. Well,
Joe was a quarterback. Charlie was a lineman.
So he 82. You graduated 85 from Chichester, and Charlie was
81.
Okay, wow. Three. Yep. No sister. No sister.
I have a sister. Yeah, she was 80. She was 83. My sister Diane was 83.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. So we're right. I was a mistake, I think, because I was 2 years later.
Oopa or engineer, you love that one, yeah. So that's fun. But anyway, yeah, that's crazy. That's unbelievable. So anyway, back to Joey, and what a story. Yeah, it's a very sad story. And you got I want to thank the shirt here.
Yep, Singley Strong Foundation.
Yes.
I want to give a little plug on that. My nephew started the Singley Strong Foundation with while being with the Cincinnati Reds, and his mother, my sister-in-law Holly, and his sister Katie, cupcakes in Greenville, Delaware, for a little thing.
Yes, that's right. You told me.
She got 30 for 30, 30 under 30 for St. Joe's University. She got a award just recently at the basketball game. Anybody under 30, she got that.
Nice.
One of those awards there. But Joseph created that, and he started. It was weird, the situation where Joe got sick. He was not taking care of himself, I guess. Not really. He was always working out. Joe, not that he wasn't taking care. He wasn't noticing enough things that were happening to go to the doctors and take care of things. So people out there, if something's wrong with you, just go get checked out and do it early. So he waited like a year to get checked out. And
what kind of signs?
He was peeing blood, basically. And he just said he thought it was from just lifting, because he lifted. He could still bench 500 pounds as a 54-year-old, And he ended up getting kidney cancer, and he ended up getting his kidney taken out. He was weighing 295 pounds, but he was all solid muscle still. He could still play. He was giving lessons to kids and helping a lot of people get to the next level by his teachings with baseball down in Delaware with Brian Stump. They would give lessons to kids over the years and help a lot of kids get to the college level, get to the pro level, and he was really that was his drive. And he also did the same with Joseph. He was always there. Joseph lived that, like he was always there with him, and he was his rock, Joseph's rock, and And he was my rock too. It was hard to watch him that last year. He went from 295 down to 120 and lost all that weight, and just, he was fighting the whole time. He actually did like 10 different tried samples of drugs for them to do experimental stuff on him, because when they took out the kidney, his question was it the biggest cancer packed kidney ever, or did I break a record? So he was always competitive with everything, even with that, So he didn't let anything bother him, and he never gave up. He never quit, and it was just amazing. And that's why we created the Singley Strong Foundation after him, and just trying to give back to families. And Joseph has done a phenomenal job getting, and I swear Joe has sent blessings to me, to Katie, to Holly, and everybody down here, and all our families and all the people that he worked with, just through his belief in God and Jesus. And
right.
It was amazing how he did that. And Joseph was at Coastal, and he was going to be playing at Coastal, and had an opportunity to go there, and ended up, having like 4 surgeries when he was in college, and he never really played.
So your brother passed 2019.
Yes.
By Joey. And son, how old was Joey, the son, at the time of the passing?
I believe he was, what's it been, 5 years now? So he's like 21, 22.
And where did the son Joey go to school? High school.
Joseph went to.
Joseph, you call him Joseph.
Joseph, yeah.
Okay.
I separated him with Joe and Joseph.
Okay. Joe's your brother. Joseph's son.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's Joe too. But I just go him by Joseph because he's my nephew, and he went to Archmere, and he was all state at Archmere. He was like a late bloomer though, because he was like, wasn't a big kid, and he just grew his last year, and then he ended up, he was throwing down to second base in 1.8 in high school. So. And
did they make a run? Did Archmere make a run? Because I know when they play public-private,
it's a private school, so they did.
They still play in the state tournament.
Yes, yeah. And he actually, they went against his buddy is Billy Phillips. I don't know if you know Billy Phillips.
Name rings a bell.
But he played in the minor leagues at Chicago Cubs. His father and young Billy and Joseph, and they played up together with Billy. And Billy's father had died of cancer also.
Oh man!
So they had it, and then his son the young Billy got cancer as well, and he got a full ride to go to Maryland out of St. Mark's down there, and
he went to St. Mark's.
So they were competitors, but he ended up getting cancer. But then he actually was the one he recovered from cancer. He's helping out at Archmere. He's the grounds guy at Archmere, is young Billy, but he went to the Singley Strong Night, and him and the little guy Cam that had cancer as like a little young kid, maybe 2 or 3 years old. He threw the ball, little Cam threw the ball to Billy, which was awesome to have them both, and they both recovered from cancer, and they were back at it. It was a great story with, people being successful and getting the right treatment in early stages is key.
Something to think about. Yeah. So Joseph, his 3rd year with the Cincinnati Reds under David Bell, assistant coach. I saw you and Mr. Liss, John Liss, no relation to former Philly Joe Liss, L-I-S. It's John L-I-S-S. He's a Deco legend. So you guys, when you get a chance, how many times do you see the Reds play, Cincinnati Reds play with your nephew?
They actually come to town only once. So it's either early in the season or late in the season. It's like last year was late in the season. So they flip-flop every year. They have one series apiece at each location. But last year we had to drop off Joe's truck, and he drew this picture for Jonathan Indy, which he's a really good artist. My nephew, Joseph, is a really good artist. He drew this picture of Jonathan Indy, and I drove his truck out there with all his art equipment to do some more. So once he introduced that picture to Jonathan, all the rest of the guys wanted another picture of them being in play and stuff like that. So it was just phenomenal how he does it. And he just did one of the Fanatic the other night that he was here.
Oh, nice!
And handed a nice big poster of the Fanatic to the Fanatic during the game the other night because
Fanatic was nice to him.
He used to dress up. Joseph used to be one of those guys, and it's funny. Ron Contratti his son was dancing with the Fanatic the other night. He's an alumni guy with us, and he played at Chi in football and baseball. But he actually his son was dancing with him. But Joseph used to have a costume that was a Fanatic costume, and he used to be dancing on the dugouts with.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
with the Fanatic, and that's why I think he gave him that little present of that. And then someone when he went back home after the series, I showed you that picture of one of the guests, and I want to thank whoever was able to reach out to Joseph, and they gave him a picture of Joseph now and his dad when he played with the White Sox, and he had pictures side by side. Was phenomenal. It was so touching, that fans would actually, do something like that for him, and his heart was definitely, skipping a beat when that was given to him.
Well, follow the Cincinnati Reds, and you're getting a lot of publicity. It's great. I mean, you guys have some nice articles on you, your family, brother, and Joseph. With the
he's
Reds.
doing a phenomenal job. He trains with a lot of guys. He helps a lot of guys across the, Cincinnati organization. He went to Arizona in the early. Actually, it was the 31st of December. He went early and was working with all the minor league guys in Arizona, and started up instead of the usually it's February 14th or around Valentine's Day that everybody shows up there, but they have an early showing of all the minor league guys. So he worked with all those guys there, and. When Joseph was at Coastal, he went to Coastal Carolina, and then the coach asked him to do some kind of Instagram stuff, and Joe wasn't really into it so much, but then he started doing it. Then he just started blowing up on Instagram, and Tyler Stevenson invited us to a game 4 years ago when they came to town, and he ended up hitting up, gave us tickets. I went to the game with him that night, and then they met us after the game and talked to him. And then after that, Joe started giving him lessons in the off season while he was down in Coastal. And he would drive down to like 2-3 hours to go see Tyler, sleep on his couch, and give him lessons. And then next thing you know, he's got an internship in his senior year. And then the history is crazy how he's so young. He was only 24 at the time. And being able to coach in the major leagues at that young of age, because I was looking up the history of coaches to be that young, and there wasn't too many.
Does he have a family out there? I mean, wife, is it kids? Joseph, yeah.
Yeah, he's not. He doesn't have any kids at all. He's been dating a girl that's really nice. She's a really good girl that he's been with, and she comes. She's a teacher down in South Carolina, where she went to Coastal also as well, and they have a nice relationship together.
Yeah. So
it's hard though, because they're so traveling all the time. They don't see each other a whole lot but she travels and goes and visits them on the when she can and stuff. So
I like the India kid, the leadoff batter. Yeah,
yep.
he stuck out a little bit. Yeah,
there's a lot of good young guys there that and they turned it around last year, and they were
love
close.
David Bell, love him.
Yep.
So does John Boy. Because David gets a little fired up. I love it. Him and Bob Boone, Brett Boone too. Not Brett. Yeah.
Brett.
Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone of the
yep.
Yankees.
Yep.
They're crazy. I love it though. I like those fiery coaches.
Yep. Awesome.
And hopefully the Reds will. I just love David Bell. He was a former Philly, by the way. Hit for the cycle for the Phillies at one time. Mm-hmm. Right? So how about the comeback victory? On a special night, you want to talk about that? The Reds came back to win the game.
Yeah, our first Singley Strong night last year was our first annual there, and we're going to do it again against. Once again, August 30th will be the next Singley Strong night. If you're in Cincinnati, go try to be there. We're going to do that again for the families that want to come out and watch the game, just to get away from it a little bit, just to get away from the hospital, get away from that, the feeling of, you don't think anything's going to be the same again, but just to get out and just to have your families be at a ballpark, you just have that just baseball and America kind of thing. But that night was pretty special. I was like watching the game, and was telling Joseph, like, we can't, I'm like saying to myself, but I can't really talk to him because he's during the game,
Right.
you know? So I'm saying prayers to my brother. We're down 5-1. Cincinnati was losing 5-1 in the 6th inning, and they start talking about the Singley Strong Foundation. I was waiting the whole game and bringing up in the 6th inning, and when they're batting, they the end they were thanking our families, the announcers, and Carcione was the batter. And as soon as they start thanking the family, and my brother was a home run hitter, he can hit the ball a long way, and he hits a home run to end that inning to make it 5-2.
Encarnacion.
Yep, Encarnacion.
So that the adrenaline probably, the focus, they probably focused more. Somebody's looking down.
And it turns out the next inning, next inning they scored a run, so they went up 6-.
Who are they playing again? The Reds that were playing.
Oh, I can't even remremember.
I
got the video.
You sent me the video. Yeah,
I got the video, but I can look at the video. But I don't want to waste time they were down again. They ended up scoring another run, and then it went to the 9th inning. It was like back and forth, another run, and then Martine, I think it was Martine. I think it was Martin or something. Martine or something. But this guy, he pinch hits and hits a 3-run homer to tie up the game in the 9th, and then De La Cruz gets up. And Carcione comes up again. De La Cruz steals second, of course, and 2 strikes on the batter, and he hits a line drive through the hole on the right side, and De La Cruz comes around and walks it off, and they just went nuts. It was and I was saying all kinds of prayers. I was like, Joe, we can't have a Singley Strong night and lose the stinking game, you know? Mm-hmm. So I'm saying this in my mind, and I'm praying to Joe, and then Joe definitely sent some prayers down to them and some strength, and definitely, you know, he's been sending that strength all the time whenever I ask him for it. And even when you're not, he's still sending it that way, because Joe would have Bible studies during his time when he was sick. So we would get all these guys that would come show up for Bible study with Joe. And some guys were atheists and stuff, which was pretty funny. It was pretty cool. And, you know, I don't have anything against anybody. It's just, it was just funny how Joe can get anybody together. And he was that kind of guy who would bring everybody together to have a good time and talk about, you know, talk verses on the Bible and stuff. So that was a real powerful moments when that happened, and get to be in there. And Dickie Knowles would be there.
Oh, man.
It was some fun stuff, you know. Chris Heavens is Heaven's Law. He's always helping us out, and phenomenal family. The Heavens, they were like so close, you know.
How can people get more information? You have a website?
Yeah, there's a website. It's called the SingleyStrongFoundation.org, and you can go on there and see a lot of the things that they've done over the, you know, we did the golf outing this past year. Holly did that and ran with that. And we raised a lot of money and gave a lot of money to different families that were in Cincinnati and some families locally. We gave out scholarships to some seniors in my program last year. The first 2 guys that got it were DJ Anderson and Ian Marin. DJ went to University of Delaware, and he played basketball for the basketball team last year. He pitched well for us last year, really well. And Ian's now at Brandywine. He's at Brandywine.
Penn State Brandywine, yeah.
He's playing there as a catcher. And then also, I got a swag bag. I gave it to Jason Hankins. Jason Hankins.
Now, Jason's at Hartford Community College in Maryland?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he's redshirting. Is that Josh's
younger brother? Yeah.
Younger brother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're quality kids. All those kids are. And last year we just had those kids played for pretty much 3 years, you know.
Yeah.
So they have a nice record there.
Besides Joseph, did your brother Joe have any other children?
Yeah, Katie's his daughter, and she opened up a company called Cupcakes.
Oh, yeah, the one in Greenville.
Okay, yeah. Okay. She's the one that opened up that business, and she's doing phenomenal. And I believe she's a go-getter, and just like Joseph is, and just like Joe, and and how our dad and my dad pushed us to be our best, and my mom as well. You know, she pushed us to be leaders and make sure you're taking care of others, and that's the most important thing. And
Talk about you say she's your rock. And, of course, behind every good man is a great woman.
Yeah, Lady Di, my Lady Di. And I met her by chance. It's funny because my brother Joe would cut the grass in the neighborhood. And she was asking for help to cut the grass. And she's like, well, what's the matter? How come you can't cut the grass? And, she started crying and stuff. And, we have relationships that are not there anymore, and you move on. And it was funny. He goes, well, my brother just went through the same thing, And then there was a girl that I worked with at Chi. It was Marissa Morelli, that was a school psychologist that was working at Springfield with her, and they had a day-to-day, teachers getting together, and then they had something about they put up like her and a couple other people put up like call Singley or something like that, So we started texting back and forth and communicating. I was on vacation with a guy. I used to work with a guy, John Martin, which he was an inspiration to me in college. I met him with the help of Bill Berlin, who was my neighbor. He gave me a job at college to work with people with head injuries. And this John Martin was my inspiration and kind of turned me around in college and everything, because he would work so stinking hard and he didn't have his right side available to him, but we would walk miles. And I was like, he's wearing me out. He has, his ability for his right side. And he just motivated me to do much better, to push myself academically, to do everything, so much more, and to be thankful. And I worked with him for the past 32 years on Sundays.
So you and Lady Di been together 14 years.
14 plus years, and I just proposed to her finally.
All right. What took you so long?
Exactly. But she's been my rock, and she's been everything. We have 2 children together. She has, and he's my son too. It's and my daughter Peyton, and her son, and my son as well, Daniel. He's the same name as me, which is ironic.
Very, very right. She's a Yannicone, you said. Is that her maid?
Maiden name's Yannicone.
Yannicone. Chester. You got some Yannicones. Yep. I know it. But
Joe Yannicone and
Jamie.
Joe.
I know Jamie Yannicone. Jamie did some announcing, helped me out doing some announcing this year at games.
Diane's been phenomenal with us, and be able to coach and do this kind of stuff. And she takes care of the household, which is hard. She just retired from Springfield after 33 years of teaching, and that's
your honey.
Yep, she was at Springfield at ETR for 33 years, and she just retired last June. And our son had aged out at Garnet Valley, so somebody had to be home with him, and she's created a program, and it's changed his, demeanor and stuff, to be
autism.
Yep, he has autism, and he's doing phenomenal. She created a program for him. He's working out, lifting weights. He's asking for exercise every morning, and it's getting us all going. He wants to work out and get that energy off, and it helps him so much.
I hope to meet him someday. Hope I would get a chance to meet him.
Yeah, I would like to bring him here, but it was, maybe someday soon. Bring him to the games and stuff.
Yeah. So in a couple of minutes here, current players at the next level from Chichester. Josh Hankins started at Coppin State, right? Yes. Now he's at Gonzaga, big-time program out in the West Coast.
Yep. Phenomenal kid. He just got the grit. I've coached a lot of kids over the years. I've been coaching a long time. He just has the grit. And
Clyde Jones loved him as a basketball player. I saw him play basketball. That's
1,000-point scorer.
Yeah, exactly. So you got Josh, you got Ian Merrin, Penn State Brandywine. Yep. Jason Hankins, a younger brother of Josh at Hartford Community College, redshirt. Aaron Jackson, West Virginia Wesleyan. That's a Division III school. Is he? What year is he in?
He's a freshman also. He's one of the guys.
Getting playing time?
He's thrown over 90 now, I heard. He's working on his pitching and throwing over 90, and he can bring it. He's tall, great kid.
Forget what town that's in, Virginia Wesleyan. Isn't it Richmond?
I think it's right outside of there. Yep,
and then you have Andrew Rodriguez, played at Immaculata University locally, now coaching in Westchester.
Mm-hmm. He's helping out with the youth in Westchester, which is the Rodriguez. He's the one. His mother's still helping us out. Kelly Rodriguez.
You told me that.
It's phenomenal. And then we have a plethora of kids that played at Williamson. We had Bobby Jones, got All-State at Williamson, and we had his brother Nick that played out there. We have quite a few other kids that it's Hunter Killinan, HK. He has his own business, but he played at Williamson out there with Doug. I played with Doug out there. He's the head coach out there. Doug, drawing a blank
for Williamson.
from Williamson. Doug, we just played in the senior leagues and Gilday's rare weekend leagues and things together. But he's doing a phenomenal job out at Williamson.
So anyway, we could go on and on.
We could. I know I'm a talker.
That's great, though, man. That's great.
Clock stopper on me.
So maybe we can do it again.
That would be awesome.
Hopefully get Jamal on here too. The
That would
more
be
the
awesome.
merrier.
Have some other, get Jamal and get Anthony on here and get all the Delval coaches
I know,
on here.
and
Nick yourself.
5A, the favorite in my opinion, is going to be Strathaven again.
Yes,
They're number
yes.
one. Feely's done an unbelievable job. We can go on about. He's going into our Deco Hall of Fame. Hopefully, you get in our Hall of Fame someday. Your dad's in it.
Yeah.
Your dad, Sam. 1988 is in our Delaware County Sports Hall of Fame. So, again, Dan Singley, thank you very much. And people can follow Chichester Baseball. If you can't make the games, you can follow them. Deco Baseball Now. He covers Brendan and the guys. And then, of course, a Game Changer.
Yep, we're on Game Changer. And then also you can look at Max Preps. We always have scores and posts
Good.
there.
A lot of people don't update them. Chester does a great job with the Max Prep. So, Dan, thank you very much.
You.
Great.
Appreciate it.
All right, and good luck with
This is
everything.
awesome.
Follow you. I'm going to send a link out. Oompa,
I appreciate you guys stopping through.
thank you. Oopa's
Thank you. Thank you.
Enjoyed you guys.
great story. Thank you, man. He has a great voice too, Coach Singley. Oompa. But anyway, you have your own show.
Yes.
You know, it's a very
That's awesome.
inspirational.
Yes, I do. I try. Times change, people change. Gotta stay in the middle, I would say.
Yeah.
Stay in the middle, stay level-headed. Without faith, we don't get anywhere.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Some kind of faith, some kind of understanding. You only ask of us a mustard seed of it. Just a mustard seed.
When's your next show?
Friday at 8.
Friday, 8. And everything is archived on CMP Radio.
Yes.
YouTube. So I'll get that link to you. Dan Singley, Oompa Engineer, thank you very much. I'm Dave Burman. And go Phillies, go Reds.
Thank you very much.